Hi and welcome to a new episode to Holistic Podcast, your source of health, happiness and harmony. And today I'm honored to speak with Cristina Pettersen Carpio. She helps women discover their inner healing power and overcome self-love and confidence challenges so that they can feel peace, love, joy, connect with their confidence, achieve their goals, and have fulfilled lives. And this is also a topic that I'm very passionate about because I have been teaching women for 29 years now. And also I do my best in order to help them first of all, have better self-confidence and also love themselves more. But I'm very curious, of course, Christina, about your perspective and your view upon it. So hi, Christina, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Georgiana. Thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to be able to join and share a bit of how I can support also with this subject or topic that is the one of self-esteem and self-love, which is very powerful and important for everyone and for women. In my case, I work with women mainly.
So how did you start with this? When did you decide that this is something you want to do? You want to help women love themselves and have better self-confidence?
So this comes back to several years ago when I was in a situation where I had, after many years of not feeling good enough, not feeling confident, feeling emptiness, I decided that the solution was to move to a new country. And I thought that was the solution. New place, you begin from new, everything's gonna work out. And I also had by then already decided that it was safer to be invisible, not to be seen, to avoid years of criticism and bullying growing up. So the thing is that when I moved to this new place, the only thing that happened is that I was in a new place, but I was facing the same challenges, the same fears, repeating jobs, repeating situations, and repeating even people or situations with people. So that's when I really realized that there was no moving or escaping again or flight. It's not fight or flight. In my case, I was just escaping all the time. And I started working in myself. But that didn't happen until I was depressed. Like I really hit rock bottom. So through working in myself and learning lots of healing techniques, coaching for myself to get myself out of that situation of not feeling good enough, feeling worthless, not being able to see any solutions, opportunities, and feeling really disconnected and alone, I was able to get to a point through working on my self-love and my self-esteem to feel peace, to feel love, to feel confident, to connect with my essence and achieve my goals. And that's when I decided and I realized this is what I love doing. I realized this is my purpose. I want to support women going through the struggles that I went so that I can share what worked for me. I got certified in different emotional freedom techniques, healing techniques, and also as a holistic life coach. So that's how I started.
It is very interesting for me to hear because I have been speaking with quite a few people, but I also noticed, and this is also like a question to you. I've noticed that there are more and more people who somehow went through some life-changing situations in their personal life, and they decided to not have anymore a normal job from 9 to 5, and instead do something which has to do with self-development, with holistic lifestyle, and so on. So it is, for me, it's a good sign. For me, it's like a sign that the humanity moves in somehow in the right direction. And just as a parenthesis, I also started with I put into place, so to say. I created a course for women, Tantra for women, because I noticed there are so many amazing women around me, and they have really superb qualities, but they do not have the self-confidence to believe in themselves, to manifest those qualities. So therefore, it's like you have somebody with a huge potential, with a absolutely marvelous treasure, sitting on it, not doing much about it. So this is how I started with teaching women, because I really wanted to do something to push a little bit, inspire, assist, help them in the right direction.
I love that, Georgiana.
Have you also noticed this, that there are more and more people who choose to do something else than just a regular job? I don't know if it's only to you and me and some other people that I've interviewed, but I noticed that it becomes more and more a little bit in that direction.
I see that there is people who are connecting more with their life purpose, for sure, that they are discovering that they have more to share. And I think that right now, especially because many people are not necessarily by choice, by life, they are getting out of their comfort zones, and that's when they realize there is something more for me than a 9 to 5 job. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So please tell us a little bit about what does self-love means to you, and how do you help this message come across to women?
Self-love. I believe strongly that love is a very powerful emotion. It's one of the ones with the highest vibrations. It's the emotion that can heal, can transform lives. And through loving others and through loving what you do, you really connect with the best energy, and you can do the best and give your best. And when we talk about self-love, that's going to the core, because once we think about loving others and loving what we do, the basis for that, the foundation for that, is actually loving ourselves, self-love. So when we love ourselves, when I love myself, I can love others. I can love what I do. And that really gives me that confidence and that energy to do my things from love, to relate and respond and create what I want in the world, because I am connected with love instead of fear. So for me, it's very much about letting go of blockages, of these masks that we start putting throughout our lives because of situations that happen to us, and connect back with our essence, because we are love. That's our essence.
So let's take a very particular example, or a concrete example. I'm not speaking now about you, I'm just saying as a general term. Let's say that you or somebody is, but actually you, sometimes may be confronted with not so glorious states and emotions. And you also notice that because of some lack of attention or tensions or daily challenges, you did something that you realize was not good. What do you do when you realize all this to also even if you realize all these aspects, still have love for yourself? Do you have a certain strategy or an approach to it?
Just to paraphrase, you mean if I did something that I'm not proud of, that
Yes.
came out from these negative emotions?
Yes, for example.
So, a strategy for that, if I realize that I'm doing that, what comes to me first here is to work on forgiveness. Because if you realize it and you are aware and you didn't like it, you get to forgive yourself instead of punish yourself for having done that. And through that awareness and that forgiveness, you get more conscious about the next time not repeating the same reaction or reacting the same way. So you will have an opportunity to respond based on what you do want the next time. But there is no point on keeping that or using that as a way to be resented or resentful to oneself.
I totally get it, because I think in the same way. And the question was on purpose, because I also see in the people that I work with, the women that I work with, that many times we are quite harsh towards ourselves, and especially when we do something that we notice was not harmonious, not good, it was out of order, just put it like that. We can be very harsh towards ourselves, and even the vocabulary that people use, they do something or they say something, and it was not intentional, it was not with a bad intention, it was just a slip, it was just the the wave of the moment, and they say, oh, how stupid I was, or something like that. So even the vocabulary that people use, it's clearly showing that they don't feel so much love towards themselves in that moment. And it never works punishing ourselves. It's if we think of it from the perspective of a parent with a child, all people who are parents, they know it works much better to be forgiving and kind and loving than to just punish and be harsh. And the kids learn much quicker when you are showing them acceptance and tolerance and love than when you just punish them. And you don't create emotional wounds when you just say, okay, this was not good because of this and this and that. You understand the consequences. The fact is already done, so you cannot change it, that fact that is gone, but you can be more aware next time.
I love what you said. That's a very powerful tip for parenting. In addition, yeah.
So we can treat ourselves a little bit like that, like we are our own child and we are in progress. So we need to have patience with ourselves. We cannot just pull the hair to grow faster. It takes its time. We all have our own pace of transformation. We cannot just force it. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I love what you said. Definitely. It's about, well, there's even research, even at offices. It works more to have positive motivation and inspiration, so to lead teams instead of punishment and coercion. So it's better to be a leader than to be a boss. And that applies also to ourselves. We can be our own leaders and know that it's through motivation and love that people really grow. And that's also happening to us. So we deserve also that forgiveness and compassion and kindness.
Definitely. So when with regards to self-confidence, what does self-confidence mean to you? Because it's a generic term, but it's very complex.
Yeah, definitely. For me, self-confidence means that I am aware of the things that I cannot change. I accept them. I know that they are part of me. And I also capitalize and work on my strengths. So know that, and I'm very confident about the things that I can and who I am, and that I am confident enough also to work in improving the things that I can change, where I can improve, in order to keep going ahead towards what I want through that confidence of knowing who I am, all included.
When I'm teaching women, when I'm working with women, I also tell them that self-confidence, it's actually an act of faith. So you have faith in your qualities, you are aware of them, you have faith in them, and therefore you somehow you tap into the reservoir of that energy. So you have access to it, so you can manifest it. And I also tell them lack of self-confidence, it's also an act of faith, but it's a negative faith. You may even have a lot of qualities, but because you do not believe in them, you don't believe that you have them, you cannot access them. So you have them, they are there, but you don't use them, you don't have access to them because you don't believe in them. So it's very important with self-confidence to pay a little bit of attention towards what do you believe in. Do you believe that you have these qualities? Then even if they are in a bud form, just blossoming there, you can make them very big. But you can have a huge quality if you don't believe you have it. You will not do anything with it. It's useless. So you sabotage yourself. So, and this act of faith, or what we believe in, is very strong. You cannot avoid it. It works like a charm, both for the positive aspect and unfortunately also for the negative aspect.
Completely agree.
How do you help the women that you work with to believe more in themselves? What is the process that you use?
I work with them through a program, and we would first deal with or work with the internal. So that means some self-discovery, as we did right now, exactly learning or knowing themselves more better. And even though human beings, we are wired to look at the negatives and criticize ourselves and others, we work through working the opposite way, wiring ourselves, programming ourselves to find the positive. And during the program, they first will work on working and looking at the positive in them. We will work also on releasing any blockages, any unhealed trauma through different healing techniques. And so it's very much internal work, connecting back with our essence. That is, again, love and peace. And then we would work with external, that has more to do with our lifestyle, because how we eat, how we treat our body, has also a lot to do with self-love. And at the end, we would work with connection, because that's the final step. Once we have reconnected with ourselves, with our love, with our essence, we can go again outside and connect again with the world through that love, self-love.
What is the most common issue you've noticed with the women you worked in regards to self-confidence? Which aspect of their life they are most unsecure about or don't believe so much in it?
I see that there's a tendency for the women that I've supported to deal with challenges that have to do with relationships a lot, because they either don't find the right person, or they've just left a relationship that was very much challenging. And then, of course, we work back and we get them back to focusing on themselves first, and realizing how those relationships or lack of relationships are all coming from these unhealed situations or blockages, and that everything starts flowing and manifesting once we work with self-love. So we go back to focusing them on them, not on finding the partner that will fill their void or that will complement them, because they are complete. Once they work on that, that person will be there. I will find that person.
It is interesting because, as I said in the beginning, I have been working with women for 29 years now, so probably thousands of them so far. And one of the first aspects that I notice when I start working with them is the lack of self-confidence and this wrong, very wrong idea that they are not good enough. It doesn't matter on which level, but almost all women, probably 95% of all the women that I've worked with, they have this wrong idea, this false idea that they are not good enough. Either they don't look good enough, or they are not intelligent enough, or they are not something enough. And when we go a little bit, we do a little bit of backwards engineering, we arrive always to the same conclusion. Somewhere along their life, a person that they respected a lot and loved a lot put them down, and they believed it. They took it, they accepted that suggestion, and it turned into a self-suggestion until it turned into a reality. So is it something that you also meet when you work with the women that...
Completely. As I said, even in my own situation, it comes from a I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough feeling. That's like the base. And then it shows in different areas, or it's affecting different areas in life for all these women. But it's definitely coming from I'm not good enough, and looking for external validation. That's what I see a lot. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, but at the same time, I want you to accept me. I want you to give me your love, family, relationships, just things outside.
It cannot work, because if you do not love yourself and you do not accept yourself, nobody will, because you will project outside this lack of confidence and lack of love. So you attract what you project out. It's very simple. It's a basic physical law that actually we learned as kids in school. So how long or how short does it take for women to realize that actually they are unique, they have a unique role to play here, and they are enough exactly as they are right now?
I don't know about you. I can't give a time frame. I don't know what have you experienced with different clients? For me, it varies a lot. But I would work with them at least for a couple of months to get to a point where they can see a bit more of what's going on, and they realize they are more aware of what has been going on automatic, or as you said, also what they were attracting unconsciously.
What I've noticed from working with women is that women are a little bit, maybe it's just a false truth, but I've noticed that women are a little bit more open towards let's say the spiritual dimension of life and self transformation, self enhancement, development, growth. And therefore this idea that they are enough actually and they have qualities, um, it gets into their heart quite soon. But then they also notice that they have to work with themselves because there is a lot of luggage they have to get rid of. So they believe now that they are enough, but still they need to get rid of some old emotional habits and mental attitudes that were there in place for many years until they realize that wait a minute, actually I'm good enough as I am right now. Of course I can be better. All of us can be better. But so the idea gets into their heart quite soon. But then depending on each individual and the personal history and the personal luggage, it will require uh, different amounts of time to have it as almost like a second nature. You don't even have to think, wait a minute, yes, I am enough. It's there as a second nature. Have you also experienced the same with the women you work with?
Definitely. It varies a lot. And for some, it requires more time. It also has to do with, for some of them, there's more emotional baggage, more years of programming or situations that are there. And yeah, it varies a lot. That's why I do this 3-month program that is like the base. And then depending on what they need after that, we keep looking at what's coming after that for them.
All right. So if our listeners would want to find you, what is the easiest way to get in touch with you?
So my website, I think that's the easiest. You can contact me to livinghealthieridea.com, or you can find me on Facebook as Coach Cristina Pettersen.
I will put the links in the episode so people will just have to click on the link, but it is also good to hear it so they will know how to get in touch with you.
Thank you so much, Georgiana. Yes.
Thank you so much, Christina, for this lovely talk. And I really am happy that I have met you and talked to you and that we share the same love for helping women to love themselves more and really shine their uniqueness.
I love that. Thank you, Georgiana, for this space that you're creating, these podcasts, and this shared mission to empower women, and that they can also know that they are worthy and see their value.
So if you would wrap it up with a message to women, what would you say to them?
My main message for them, for all women listening, is that if I could do it, you can. And if there's one tool or one way to do and achieve and have what we really want, is through self-love. Once we achieve and feel that self-love, we will connect with opportunities, we will connect with love, and we will be able to love what we do, love who we have in lives and our life. And through love, we can create and make better decisions. So you can do it. Just remember to be patient. It's a process, and to be kind with yourself.
Thank you so much. And until next time we meet, I wish our viewers and listeners a happy and healthy life. Bye for now. Subscribe and get access to all the training videos, those already published and the ones on their way. I wish you a wonderful day.